Hi, welcome to WiseCat. Okay, so today we're basically going to be checking out one-click install of Moodle. So I think a lot of people realize already that my preferred method of installing Moodle is via Git, and I like actually doing everything in a hands-on sort of way so that you know exactly what's installed on the server, what protections are in place, everything, you know it from the ground up. So as a result, I really don't like one-click installs. They rub me the wrong way because I don't like the idea of being completely separated from the install process, not knowing exactly what is running on the server, what isn't, how the firewalls are set up and everything like that. That said, if I don't have a look, I'll never know if my biases actually make sense about this, or whether I am just, crazily biased. So let's have a look at it actually. Now, the one that I'm going to be using today is on Linode, and Linode has just a minute. Sorry, I'll shrink myself down here a bit. Linode has a pretty decent sort of a thing. If you create a new Linode, then you have a pretty decent marketplace of a whole bunch of different types of apps like this here. So we've got like Apache Cassandra and stuff like that, GlusterFS and Couchbase and Jitsi and PostgreSQL. That's okay. That's a cluster to set up a PostgreSQL cluster. Oh, Jitsi is a cluster too. Cool. All right, so there's some pretty cool stuff in here, and one of the things that they've got is Moodle. All right. If I can find it, you got to scroll down. Yep, there it is, Moodle. And ooh, Nextcloud, yay! All right, I'm seeing a lot of sort of software projects that I kind of like. All right, so here's the Moodle thing. They also have this Moodle guide here about how to install it, and so I actually have read this. I've never actually done one of these one-click installs through Linode's Marketplace or something like that, but I have had a quick read over of this guide. And one of the things that I did like about the guide was it tells me down the bottom here that I'm going to get in PHP, MariaDB, UFW, because who doesn't like a good firewall, certbot for the TLS certificates, and Apache 2. Okay, I'm an Nginx kind of a guy, but I guess I can survive with Apache. Be roughing it. Alright, anyway, I don't know though about the versions or anything like that. There's a lot of questions I still have. In particular with regards to the Moodle code itself. I'm wondering if I do this one-click install, am I going to end up with, say, a copy of Moodle 2.4 or something like that? I don't know. Let's find out. Alright, so going back to the Linode screen, here we go, yay. So we'll select Moodle there, and now we can configure our setup down below here. So it's one click, but to get to the click, you got to insert all of the stuff. So like an admin password for Moodle. So that's what we're going to use to log into the Moodle. Cool, nice strong password, yay. An admin email address, so that's my email address, yay. Right, a root password for MySQL. Okay, yeah, we're going to need a root password for MySQL. That makes somewhat sense. I mean, I usually when I install MySQL, MariaDB or something like that, I would be going with, no root password. Use sudo to authenticate into it. But okay. Anyway, Moodle database user password. So this is kind of nice that they're not using the root password. Well, it seems that they're not using the root password to grant root password privileges to the Moodle database. So they're gonna, in config.php, this is what I would expect to see. Okay, so down below here we've got a username for this Linode's admin user. I'll just use Adam there. That's my username, and the password. So this is probably going to be the equivalent of a sudo password. So I'll just put a little sudo password in there. All right, now advanced options. Now this one here is the Linode API token. Now I've already gone and created the token because I knew I was going to need one. So I'm going to just copy and paste that into here. But what this does is this allows Linode to actually set the DNS records for the domain and everything like that, without too much stuffing around with me. I can just sit back and relax and it'll do it for me. So it's asking for a subdomain. I don't really want to do a subdomain. I just want to go directly to demo.wisecat.net, which this account that I'm logged into actually has the ability to make domains in there. So that should be okay. I don't know if this is going to catch me and say, you know, I should be there or something like that. But anyway. Okay, we got a little security options here. I'm going to get a little security SSH key, public key, to securely access the Linode via SSH. I'm going to put in my little mammoth key in there. And disable root access over SSH. Yeah, sure. I don't want root logging into my server. No, that's terrible. All right. So this is all looking pretty good. I have noticed something here. This one up here, the username for the Linode's SSH user. Please ensure that the user okay, didn't feel like finishing that sentence. Okay. Anyway, so not too bad, but pretty smooth going on this. All right. I'm going to choose a location. I'm going to put this one in Osaka. I'm going to put it on a shared CPU and Linode 1 GB because I'm cheap, and so is this server. So anyway, here we go. Moodle JP OSA. Oh, OSA. One click. What? And if I remember how to type. Oh, and I need a root password in here again. Well, why? I've already got... Didn't I mention that up earlier? No. Well, I got a... Anyway, root password. Okay, you want a root password? I'll give you a root password. Here we go. Have a root password. There you go. Alright, so now I've got a root password in there. And SSH keys. I guess this is the SSH key. This would be the SSH keys for the root user. Whereas I think this one up above was the SSH public key for the other thing. Anyway, I'm not going to add that one there. If I get locked out, meh, so be it. Okay, firewall, etc. Some other options, backups and stuff like that. Nah, let's just go for it. Okay, so I'm clicking on that and going through, and now it's provisioning. And so the one-click install, that should be it. And later I should be able to just go to, say, demo.wisecat.net. .net, and that should just get me to, after a little while, that should do, have done everything and got me all the way through to having a fully working Moodle. Now, I would expect that that's going to take about 5 minutes or so, so I'm going to just, get myself a cup of coffee. Yeah. Okay, so I've given it about 5 or 10 minutes, and yet when I keep on... Oh, wait a minute, something's happening now. Ooh. Well, that's a white screen of death. Okay, let's try to refresh it again. Okay, it looks like it's still trying to cook something there. Okay, well that was bright. Let's grab our SSH key thing, SSH login here, and let's go and have a sticky peek. Okay, the Moodle is obviously not cooked yet, but and I disabled root login, so I should be able to just add them into it. Okay, yeah, host fingerprint for the server, new server, so yay. Okay, and I'm adding a demo. Ooh, it did those host name CCL. Okay, already I like that it is named, giving me the subdomain as the host name of the server, so kind of like that. Alright, let's have a look. HTOP. HTOP is installed, and okay, I'm gonna fire that up. Okay, and it's still doing stuff. It's installing stuff at the moment. Apache is now in, so you can see Apache is running. What else is it doing? It's got a MySQLD up, so okay, it's kind of a little bit interesting that it's saying MySQLD instead of say MariaDB server. Are you sure that this is... Okay, anyway, it said it was going to install MariaDB on the docs, right? So, okay, I guess so. But it looks like it's actually done MySQL. I don't know. Wait, no, let's just keep going. Okay, no judgment just yet. I'll judge it later. Anyway, okay, that was htop. What is it? It's probably still installing some stuff or something. Yeah, so I got Python 3, like something like this. Run startup triggers and stuff like that suggests that it's using a Python script to do. Uh-oh, is it gonna wait for a signal? I have a bad feeling that I'm going to be interrupted in this shell session. Okay, anyway, let's have a look here. So it's done a bunch of those things. There's nothing in my home directory. Okay, let's have a quick sticky beak around. Let's go to Etsy, Apache 2. All right, and let's have a look in there, see what we've got. We've got the sites available, sites enabled, so cd sites enabled. Let's see what's in there. We've got, okay, so it's already set up a Moodle.conf and Moodle-le.conf. So let's have a look at Moodle.conf first. Okay, so this is how it's set it up. It's just set up a virtual host for port 80, HTTP, and it has said document root is here, blah, 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 blah. So it has given the document root, follow symlinks and stuff like that. It has actually given me a configuration here. Not seeing anything on PHP yet, so it's probably running using the Apache 2 handler. It does have down here the rewrite engine and all that sort of stuff there with the conditions. Basically, you know, if it is... Oh, it's added www to the front of my domain. Look at that. Okay, so... Okay, I'm not too sure that... I didn't specify the wwws, so... Anyway. Okay, it's taken a little bit of a liberty there. But it's only added that to the server name directive here. There's, oh yeah, no, there's the server alias with www below it. Okay, so that's what it's done. And then it will have generated the Moodle SSL, which is actually Let's Encrypt SSL configuration there. And it's basically the exact same thing. So it's just run certbot or something like that to actually get these certificates done, and it looks like these certificates have been set up fine, just fine and dandy like that, and standard stuff there. Okay, so not too bad. SSL seems to be HTTPS seems to have been set up fairly well. Okay, our document root is going to be in /var/www/html/Moodle, which is, I guess, for Apache users, that's pretty much your default place to be. So let's go and have a look at the actual Moodle. var/www/html/Moodle. That's where we want to be. That's where the action's at. And there it is. There's our code. Ooh, that highlighting suggests that we might have some pretty funky permissions on that. So let's check them out. Okay, not too bad. It's owned by www.data. Right, everything is owned by www.data, so the web user, right? So that's so that Apache can access it and do stuff to it. So, okay, not bad. I kind of like that. I actually prefer to have my user be the owner and www.data be the group. There are other ways to do it that are more complex than that and more sophisticated and everything. I'm not that sophisticated, but that allows me to do Git pulls and things like that. Now, speaking of Git, this is encouraging. We have a .git folder. So that suggests to me that maybe, just maybe, this has installed a fresh version of Moodle. And absolutely, I might be getting 4.4.2, which I think is the current version. Yeah, the current latest. I may be getting the latest and greatest. Okay, I'm already a little bit impressed here because it seems to have done a Git install for me. I like it. Let's check it out. Let's do a Git status and see what we get. We probably need to change. Yeah, I need to change the user sudo -u www.data because that's who owns it. My password. I don't remember what I said as a password. Good thing I took notes. Sudo password is this one here, so I'll paste that in there. Whoa! Modified. Okay. That's not the best. Alright, I don't know, let's pipe that through to less or something. Okay, so at the top of the file here, we're on branch 39 stable. Okay, I think my love affair with this one-click installer has just come to an end. It was short-lived, but yeah, if you're going to install a Moodle on my server that's, you know, a brand new install in 2024 that is Moodle 3.9 stable, nah. I mean, that's an LTS, so it's a good choice compared to, compared to say 3.8. That's a good choice. Compared to 4.1 is still current, so that would be a better choice. And 4.4 is really, come on. Well, so 404 branch Moodle 404 should be where it's at. All right. Also, all of these are coming up as modified. What? What? Why are these modified? That's kind of weird. So it git cloned everything and then modified everything? Why? So anyway, that's bizarre because it looks like every single Moodle file here is... Yeah, that looks like pretty much everything. Alright, so... And the git status command is really, really long. Okay, let's revisit that a little bit later. Let's have a look at... do we have a config.php yet? Yes, there's a config.php. Let's have a look at that. Let's just do, I'll just do nano, then I can get some highlighting. Config.php. Oh, error reading permission denied. Okay, so you've locked down the security on that one. Let's have a look. What permissions do we have on config.php? Well, look at that. Okay. Okay, there's some irony here. www.data is the owner, and I mean, this is a similar 640 is a pretty standard permission I might use for my own config.php. But if the web server user is the owner of the file, it doesn't really matter that this, the group is not set to write permission. It's a bit weird. Anyway, okay. Let's just do a sudo -u on that and nano config.php to have a bit of a squiz inside of here. Okay. So here's where the Linode documentation was either wrong or lying or something like that, but yes, it does appear that we have MySQLi as the database type. That is not MariaDB. So yeah, Linode's documentation could be better on that particular one. Okay, no biggie. MySQL and MariaDB kind of incompatible and very, very similar and everything like that. So it's not the end of the world. Chill. Alright, I got my database password in there that has been passed there. And that is the user password. That is not what I put in for the root password. So, okay, that part is done well. Database name is Moodle, database user is Moodle. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Fine, we've got, okay, our Moodle data directory is /var/Moodle data. Okay, not too bad. I mean, I prefer to stick stuff in /srv, but that's just, free choice sort of thing. Interesting, down below here, we don't have any path information or anything like that as mentioned. So there are no paths, there's no prevent path configuration or stuff like that. So maybe those paths aren't really a thing? I don't know. If they're not, those pieces of software might not even be installed. Okay, anyway, that's our first look there. Let's also, while I'm here, just do a sudo ufw status and just find out what is the status of that firewall. Okay. So 22 TCP allow. Oh, not a big fan. I do like that they've for each of these rules they've actually mentioned that they want it to look at TCP only. UDP is just not allowed. Okay, that's kind of cool there. But the TCP, the 22 TCP, that's the SSH port, that's set to allow is something I do not like. And so I would instead do UFW limit 22/TCP. And so I'd update that rule to that, and that way, you know, if somebody's trying to do mass attempts at SSHing into my machine, then they're going to get caught on that, and they'll be blocked. I would also do the same for port 80, actually, because I don't really think, you know, everything's going to be redirected to HTTPS. So if somebody's coming in on HTTP, they come in on port 80, and then straight afterwards they're going to be bounced over to HTTPS with port 443, and that one could be allow to make sure that everybody can get in there. But the port 80 itself can just be on limit, and that can prevent, that's a poor man's DDoS mitigation. Okay, so anyway, that's just how I prefer my firewalls. I'm actually pretty impressed that they added a firewall, you know, with UFW at all. That's actually a pretty good step in the right direction, I would think. Okay, so let's have a look now and see, is the site actually up and running yet? Oh, there it is. Okay, so it took a little bit to cook, but it's up and running apparently. So let's go in and have a bit of a look inside of here. Looky what we have here. Okay. So we come in here, I'm guessing, what is it? Admin? Probably. And the password is the Moodle admin password, I guess. So I'll just paste that in here. Yeah. Invalid login. Please try again. Moodle and password. Okay, Moodle is the username. That's a weird username to have. Okay, anyway, that's the first thing. Oh, look at this, Moodle powered by Linode Marketplace. Okay, so you're excited. Let's just get rid of that. Let's skip the registration because I'm going to delete this server in a few minutes anyway. Okay, so not loving the way that this looks like Moodle 3.9. Not loving it at all. Okay, let's have a look. What do we got? Notifications. Oh, 3.9.25. You're breaking my heart, guys. Come on, 3.9? 3.9? Oh, that's not good. All right, so one-click install. One of the things I really don't like about them is that often people find it really difficult to upgrade once they've gone to something like this. They've gone 3.9 or something is installed. Then 4.0 is released, 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4. Right, we're on 4.4.2 now. So this is build 2023 12.11, right? That's not actually how old 3.9 is. 3.9 is perhaps another year or so, several years actually, beyond that. So it's probably more like 2021 Moodle here, right? So that's really old. It does appear to be 3.9.25, which I do believe is the last in the line of 3.9 branch. And they have used Git, so it shouldn't be too hard to upgrade. Depending on, well, they said actually PHP... Okay, there are a few other things that perhaps need checking. So, sorry, I'm going to get back to the explanation here. Anyway, this is, yeah, 2023, as is mentioned here, seems to be, that would be the date of 3.9.25, not 3.9 itself. So that's, you know, as good as it is, it's at least, you know, 8 months out of date, but more likely is it's several years out of date, and it's just that Git, by virtue of it being a Git install, it's actually come up to the latest in 3.9. But 3.9 is end of life. It's gone. It shouldn't be there at all. Okay, other things. I'm starting to find my biases, my hatred of one-click installs is actually being very well supported here. Okay, admin CLI cron PHP script has never been run, so it looks like this installer may have forgotten to add a cron job. Okay, I've forgotten to add cron jobs in the past. I'm human. Machines should not forget that. My Ansible playbook never forgets. So anyway, I don't like the fact that there's no cron job installed. That's probably not a good thing. Okay, let's have a look at some other stuff. Let's actually have a look at, say, the server environment variables, and let's see what we got. Okay, so we've got MySQL 8, so that's okay, a good start at least. We're running at 8.0.39, so that's not too bad. This is bad. PHP is running version 7.4. End of life, alright? I mean, PHP 7.4 is no longer supported. It's not even considered secure. PHP EOL. Let's see if we can just search for that in DuckDuckGo. There we go. Supported versions, bang. So let's have a look. So PHP 7.4 here was end of life security fixes only, you know, like January, just before January 2022. At the end of 2022, that's when the security fixes finished for 7.4. So 7.4 is end of life. It's over, right? So not good, not good. One-click installers, they're not good. All right, let's keep looking, server system paths. None of the system paths are set except for GhostScript. Well, what makes GhostScript so special? Okay, so these should be specified in config.php, and they should all be filled. They're, you know, all right. PHP supported versions being a problem notwithstanding. Okay, let's go back here. Let's go to reports, performance overview. Let's have a look there. Okay, everything's clear in that one. So it actually has, the installer seems to have completed correctly at least. Let's have a look at security checks. Oh, wow. Okay, writable config.php. We saw that before where the www data user is the owner of the config.php. Executable paths, we just noticed, they can be set in the web UI. Enabled .swf Flash? Really? You're allowing Flash? What? Okay, I mean that's 2021. Okay, so nobody's touched this for several years. And this one is just Moodle being a little bit melodramatic. Here we have but seriously, Flash animation is I guess 3.9, so right. All right, let's see. At least, can we update even if we're... can we upgrade this site? Is the next question. Now, I know that we can only go as far as maybe 4.1 because the PHP won't be supported for 4.2. I think 4.2 is when PHP 8 became a requirement. Anyway, let's go to the environment variables and check that. So we'll update that component there. All right. There we go. Okay, so 3.11, let's say. All right. Max input vars has not been set to... Okay, so max input vars, sure. That's easy to fix. 4.0. Still on the max input vars. 4.1. Okay, 4.1's okay. 4.2, this is where I expect... Yeah. So this is where our PHP being end of life 7.4 is not good enough. By the way, 8.0 also end of life. So even if we upgrade it to 8.0, that one's already well and truly over as well. So yeah, we would want at least 8.1, preferably 8.2, or even if Moodle 4.4 does support 8.3. So being on 8.3 would be even better. Okay, let's try for 4.4. Still just these two, right? Yeah, the MySQL database being 8.0 is not too bad. But it's not MariaDB, so why'd you lie to me? It's not that I really care, but why'd you lie? Okay, so that's pretty much it. Oh, the 2.2 sub plugins. But a Git upgrade will actually take care of that for us, so not too bad. Let's go back to our thing here. Let's have a look at the Git. Try the Git status again and see if anything has changed here. Alright, I don't know. Let's try Git pull. Alright. Ooh, wow. So that's everything coming up is modified as Yeah, I'm just gonna stash these. Oh, that's right. Stash all those changes. All right. Won't Git status. Alright, so now I've got that up to working room. So now that I've stashed all those changes, stashing those changes, by the way, just means setting them aside for a little while. So now it's actually saying that everything is pretty normal. Right, I've still got my files are all in here. Actually, look at that. They've changed color. Ooh, you know what I think that means? I think that means that permissions have been improved. Look, you see, before I stashed, before I did that stash. So if I go back to the stash, okay, if I go git stash, apply the stash, bring it back. I mean, that's the idea of stashing something. You can stash it and then you can bring it back. Now everything's modified, right? The modification is the permissions. Look at that. That's what the modification is. And look at these. You see how I said these are a bit weird color? And that's because these files are just, this is an individual file. Now, files shouldn't have the execute bit set on them, right? Because in theory, you know, somebody could have a file in, could put in a file in here that is not supposed to be executable and have the executable bit on it. That's, you know, means that code in there can run, you know. And if it's malicious code that's been planted remotely, that's a remote code execution. Anyway, you should not have the executable bit set on any of the files in your Moodle directory. That's just, you know, there aren't any executables in here. You might say, well, what about PHP? PHP is executable, right? And PHP executes the scripts that are PHP scripts. So you don't actually have, index.php doesn't need to have the executable bit set here, ever. All it needs is, the web server does need read permission, right? It needs to be able to see the PHP file here, but it doesn't need to have that. So that, you know, git stash, taking care of those permissions, making those permissions better. Okay, so I don't understand why, but something came in, and, you know, part of the installer, the one-click installer, has come in and messed up the permissions. And doing a git stash, just putting it back, and that's actually as it should be. It should be like that. Okay, let's have a look. You know, did we break anything in here? Come on. See, nothing's broken. Nothing's broken. It's working fine. You don't need to have, you know, permissions like that in there. Well, we're in here. Okay, fine. Let's have another look at PHP info, shall we? 3.9. PHP info. Boom. Okay, so yeah, it's using the Apache 2.0 handler, so no FPM. Okay, let's see. What about, did you set us with at least some decent upload limits or something? Let me see. Max file uploads are on. Yeah, okay. Max post, max file size, and stuff like that. Max input files is 1,000, which is not really good enough. Looks like all these are just defaults though. So post max size is 8 megabytes. Yeah, that's a default. And upload max file size is 2 megabytes. So this basic install here is using the defaults in PHP, which means that we are limited to a maximum file size of 2 megabytes, which is tiny. Okay, PHP 7.4, not great. Ew. Okay. Okay. So the bottom line is that there's good, there's bad. Yeah. On the good side, it's a git install, right? Apache does seem to be somewhat configured okay with the let's encrypt and things like that. Did like the firewall and stuff like that. All right. You know, I'm just gonna summarize it here. I was just thinking in my mind now. You know, should I try an upgrade? You know what? Heck it. It's only been what, like 36 minutes. Let's, you know, this video can get a little bit longer. Let's try upgrading it and see. You know, I'm not doing a PHP upgrade today, but let's just upgrade it to, say 4.1 or whatever we can. Yeah. At least then we'll have something that is okay. 4.1's okay, right? Yeah, 4.1's good. Max input vars. Okay, so to fix that, all right, let's do this. Let's do this. I'm just gonna go and do it. All right. By the way, I'm noticing you can't see my pointer. Well, that's irritating. All right, I'm gonna have to fix that later. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna shrink myself down again. And let's do this. So we want to go to 4.1. Is there anything else I have to do before I do? No, I can just git. That's right. The max input vars. I should fix that before I do. Moodle, not 3.9. 401. I'm just going to skip straight across 3.10, 3.11, 4.0, and go all the way straight through to 401. Right? So that should just work. Boom, and it did. So git is wonderful. Hallelujah. But let's do this. Sudo -u p no. Sudo /etc/php /apache 7.4 apache 2 and php.ini. That's what we want in there. Alright, we're going to want to go down to the resource limits section, and the max input vars is right there. We want to set that to say 10,000. There we go, that's done. Alright, next thing that we want to do also is change that for the CLI, because cron... Oh, that's right, cron doesn't have a job yet, does it? Well, let's try this anyway. We'll set it for 10,000 for those as well, so that we can... Alright, max input vars, 10,000. Okay, done that. Right, so the CLI should be good. Now the cron job, actually, let's have a look. Sudo -u cron tab -l. I need to choose the bloody user. There, www data. Come on. No cron tab for www data. So the web user, the web user doesn't have a cron tab. All right. What about root? I am root. Okay, so weird way of doing it, but there's actually a weekly job. Weekly, isn't it? That's weekly, isn't it? Because day of week is the last one. So minute, hour. No, actually, it should be one of these. Is that monthly? Anyway, there's a job for certbot renew. Usually, certbot has its own cron jobs, and so this is usually not necessary. You know, but I guess depending on how certbot was installed, I'm going to guess that this is not using the snap or something like that. Snapd might not even be installed. Is it? No snap. Okay, so it's got an older version of certbot in there that, you know, seems to be working, so okay. Alright, anyway, I need to make sure that the change to the PHP has actually applied. We need to restart system ctl restart Apache 2. Alright, you know, I could have gone in there as well and changed the file upload, maximum file upload sites and stuff like that. Couldn't be bothered today. Alright, here we go. So let's reload this screen and see how we go. Oh, isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? We got no... Wait, why is that looking weird now? Oh! Oh, because I already did... I already did the git. I did the git thing. I changed the branch, so I forgot about that. Yeah, okay, fine. Let's just do it via the. I usually do upgrade PHP via the command line, but why not? Let's go here. Okay, everything is saying, you know, got 3.9, so I'm allowed to install it and everything. This is the checks anyway. All right, let's just go. Whoops. Okay, everything is going to be installed and stuff like that, upgraded and blah blah blah. Quiz results to be deleted, upgraded, deleted, and stuff like that. Yeah, let's rock and roll. All right. So I guess, I mean, the good news is it's not that painful to upgrade to Moodle 4.1. And that's a very low bar. Okay, so that's upgraded there. And what was that? Moodle. And the Moodle admin password was this thing that I gotta paste, copy paste, boom. Alright. Custom reports, blah blah blah. New settings. Yeah, okay. Yada yada yada. By the way, you see how long that was? That means that if you go, oh great. If you're gonna go LTS to LTS, massive changes all the way through. Okay. Okay, final words on this. This is now upgraded to Moodle 4.1. If I go to my server environment and stuff like that, you know, there I've got it. Going to say 4.5 and upwards, well, PHP is definitely going to be an issue. I'm going to need at least PHP 8.1. 4.5 might even need 8.2, wouldn't it? I don't know. Anyway, they usually try to make it so that the requirements are that you can go from LTS to LTS without having to change that much. But anyway, okay, let's see, the good was that it did a decent job of installing, say, a firewall. The Moodle code itself is a git install, so that's very much appreciated, and set up the let's encrypt certbot stuff, you know, sort of in a decent sort of way ish. The bad, where do I begin? Moodle 3.9, that's a good place to begin. That's bad. PHP 7.4, bad. Upgradability is somewhat okay, but then again, I mean, you got to upgrade the PHP versions and stuff like that. The idea that nobody has sort of touched this, kind of bad. the firewall settings not being limit or something like that, and being, just having those ports completely open, not ideal. Not, I wouldn't say that goes as far as bad, but perhaps the biggest crime that I'm seeing at the moment as well is, for example, no cronjob not being set. Very, very, very bad. That. So basically, people who are seeing this, using this, to get an idea of, because, okay, look, I think the best argument for these one-click installers, right, is that, let's say, the use case is, I'm a simple man with simple tastes, and I want to find out, what's this Moodle stuff all about? And I want to try it out. I want to try it out in an easy way. So I want this to give me, this is my try before I buy experience. And if I use this one-click installer to install Moodle, look at it, and I'm going to go, well, that looks so like 5 years ago. Well, of course it does. It's from 5 years ago. Why show somebody the version of Moodle from 5 years ago? That's just, Okay, so the fact that it's out of date, okay. I suspect other one-click installers probably don't even do a git install, so, it's slightly better than those, but still, 3.9? I mean, really? Anyway. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. But definitely don't use it for production. And, if you're going to go to production, see my other videos on, how to install Moodle from scratch or something. Get yourself the latest and greatest version of, say, get yourself on something like Debian 12 with PHP 8.2. Set up the latest version of Moodle and try that out. Because the difference, I mean, in the past 5 years, they've been doing so much work on the user experience and improving the declunkifying Moodle. Moodle has been clunky in the past, and it's so much better today in the modern version. If you're not experiencing the modern version, then Moodle, you're not experiencing the real Moodle, and you're not going to be able to give it a fair evaluation based off of this one-click install. So I think that's probably my number one critique of one-click installs, is that the main purpose for them is not to set up a production server, but to try before you buy, before you really commit to, I'm going to run this server forever. I'm going to run this with my students. And this is not a very good representation of Moodle. So, that's my initial position of one-click installers are not good. There were a few good parts to it, but my initial opinion stands. One-click installers are awful. I just don't like them at all. Use them at your own peril. I mean, feel free, if setting up a Moodle 3.9 instance is what you're trying to do, go. It's fine. And actually, I might use that as a... Well, that could be useful in an upgrade tutorial video, couldn't it? Because I can install a really old version of Moodle on Apache or something using this one-click install. Okay, there's a use case for a YouTuber, but in real practice, using it with students, don't impose that on anyone. All right. Anyway. That to say, generally speaking, I have myself used other things like this. I think I've installed only Office once using these one-click installs and things like that. So, I mean, for trying stuff out, it's not that bad. But definitely, especially with, say, Moodle or whatever software you're using, watch out to make sure that you've got the latest versions being installed by the one-click installers, because otherwise you might not be getting the latest and the best in the... the best of what that software package has to offer. it's unfair to the software programmers who have spent time, loads and loads of time, often as volunteers, developing these systems, then to just have somebody look at a 5-year-old version of it. It's just not cool. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up here. I mean, I'm struggling to not want. I desperately want to upgrade that PHP and everything, but what I really should do is get a life and delete the server. so that's what I'm going to do this time. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe and do all the other good stuff. Tell your friends. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.